All right, guys, this is it. Not even opened, not even busted into. So I'm gonna bust this open, pull out the cards, and then show you guys the goods. All right, YouTube, we got a ton of cards here. Big mail day from PSA. We're gonna jump straight into it. These are not sorted, so PSA does not sort these things for me. Usually I sort them for you guys for your viewing pleasure. However, this is straight as they come from PSA. The boxes, I'm not even doing them in the arrangement that they're just completely random. So just keep that in mind. So Walker Buehler, Bowman's Best Refractor, PSA 10. TOPPS Chrome Auto, PSA 10. Juan Soto, Bowman's Best Green, PSA 10. Bowman's Best, PSA 10. I got a ton of Heritage Soto, so I'll just kind of like talk and just show you cards. Apologies on the last video, and I'm somewhat a little bit frustrated. A couple of things going on with work. Not the best day. I'm gonna give some advice, and then hopefully I can listen to my own advice, which is if you have sort of a sucky or shitty situation at work, don't just always take it. See if there is a thing that you can do about it. Whatever that is, whatever that method is, seek it out. But also there's a couple of conversations going on in the hobby right now, especially with fraud, with third-party grading companies, consigners, trimming and altering of baseball cards, football, basketball, everything. So lots of conversations going on in the hobby for those of you who are not aware of those. Nothing new, just renewed vigor, and really good things that are being brought to light from hopefully people who are corrupt and people who should be locked up behind bars in some capacity, however that is, which are really the criminals, the ones who are doing the trimming and selling and alteration of high-end cards. The problem that I have in some of these conversations is the comments that all grading is a scam. So I nonchalantly and sort of was just tongue-in-cheek talking about how grading is a scam in the last video. That's completely bogus. I'm hoping that you guys are sort of seeing that, but yeah, I may agree, I may disagree with some of the grades, and you all have probably seen in some of my videos that some of the grades, in my opinion, are somewhat too harsh. Oftentimes you'll see that there's things that I get that are in my favor, but a lot of times that's not the case. However, there are certain problems inherently flawed with the grading process, and right now I think it has been very true and it's been very well highlighted that some of the grading companies cannot document alterations, specifically trimming. So there can be great debate as to what an alteration is. Anything that physically, in my mind, changes the card, whether it be the size, the color, the texture, anything that changes the card, that is, in my mind, again, this is the variation, not to interrupt my monologue, that's an alteration. There's been some comments, especially in the vintage market, if you soak a card, if you wipe the surface, if you clean it with a detergent, are these types of things alterations? In my mind, I honestly don't think so, but I don't also engage in those practices. I don't use cleaning solutions other than my own spit. I don't even use painting hose. I use my little handy dandy Apple cleaning cloth to clean all of my cards. What these conversations do, in my opinion, is very detrimental to people who do grade and also the benefit of grading. So I've shown you guys raw cards and grading cards that in my mind, PSA and Beckett, and for the most part, most third-party grading companies like the big three, SGC, PSA, and Beckett, they do a really good job. 99.999% of the time. However, there's a certain few select bad apples that are somewhat bringing down the reputation of grading. I'm not at all worried whatsoever. Like, you see, there's a lot of cards here. There's a lot of money. The value of these cards is not going down in the next couple of weeks whenever these get sent to the auction block. It's just not going to happen. So a lot of people will say, oh, you're defensive because you have cards and you're invested in this. I am, but it's not like prices just fall out of favor overnight. And the other thing is I'm not trimming my cards. Let's see. If I want to trim cards, this is what I got, guys. My little handy dandy knife. This is what I do to trim all of my cards. It's got my little thumbprint on there. This is going to be submitted for evidence. Actually, this isn't even a thumbprint. This is like freaking food left over that I did not clean from my steak knife. So I'm just gonna get salmonella later. No, actually this is what I used to open up the tape from these boxes. But all joking aside, there's all these conversations are kind of getting a little bit ridiculous, and I really do enjoy the hobby. I like checking into some of the message boards. I love jumping in tongue-in-cheek, and I'm going to skip that one because I think it has some good stuff in it. I want to not talk about this. I want to talk about the cards. I like talking about on the boards with certain people, and I actually like making fun of a lot of situations. So for those of you who see me post on there, I love to just joke about stupid stuff and make ridiculous comments. But at the same time, I think some of the comments that are being made in a very serious tone, there's misallocation of hatred, of vitriol, of energy to, I think, the wrong people. The people who are not really getting called out all that much are the people who are actually doing the alterations. Like the people the name Kevin Burge has come up. I honestly have no idea who that is. Never met him. I've just heard his name on the internet for the past 20 years. He has apparently altered cards forever, whether it be trimming, whether it be submitting fake patches, you name it. But guess what? He's still a free human being, and he is running free on this planet, and no one has done anything about it, knowing that he is a scammer and a fraud for the past 20 years. And that's sort of a shame, right? So like, you all can hate the consigners all that you want. Yeah, they're probably somewhat complicit because they accept consignments from people like Kevin Burge, but they're also accepting consignments from people like me who really don't want to submit or sell all these cards on my own. Like, I literally don't even have the manpower to do this. I enjoy this as a hobby. Like, I love grading cards. Like, opening all this is kind of like Christmas. See, look at this. Like, I have 2 of these orange Prism PSA 10s. Like, that is, in my opinion, super, super freaking cool. If I had to sell all these things on my own to go buy more, it just doesn't work. So the consigners for me are very, very helpful because they satisfy a need for me. I'm able to sell all of my cards to them, not to them, but through them, and not have to do any of the work, which is amazing. Like, you tell me another entity where I'm able to sell something like that at a price cheaper than I could sell it for myself. They do all the work, they pay me, they handle it all on their own, and I can just sit back and sort of collect. Sounds like a very, very great model. Now, that is a model that is being currently abused by people like trimmers because they're able to sell products that are trimmed that can go anonymously through the consignment company. So yeah, the consignment company does have some responsibility in this, but they're, at the end of the day, they're brokering cards. Like, just like a real estate broker brokers real estate. It's not really their goal or their job to check to see if I trimmed all of these cards. Like, that's what this company right here, you see that company? That's 3 letters. It says PSA, Professional Sports Authenticators. That's their job. Like, that's literally their job. Like, I paid them money to grade this card. And if they're not grading it appropriately, now, yes, there are situations where it has been shown to the consignment companies that alterations have taken place and they have not removed them. And that's very much so a problem from the consigner's perspective. Like, if documented evidence have been shown that cards have been altered, they should absolutely remove them. But at the same time, I'm not going to say that they're like complicit in this entire mess. Like, the people who are doing all the shady stuff are the people who are actually cutting cards and coloring them and modifying them for the sole purpose of creating a profit. And that sort of undermines what I'm doing here with grading these cards legitimately, getting my 9s like this, which in my opinion are undeserved. Like, this card is undergraded. It is freaking undergraded. Don't tell me that grading companies don't have a purpose, because they do. Like, literally, I have these 9s and 10s. For all of you all who say you can't tell a difference between a 9 and 10, like, that's clear that either you are too old and your eyes don't work, you're too young and your eyes don't work, or your eyes just don't work in general, forgetting age. or you literally have never graded cards. You literally have never graded. You still expect that if you have a card that you submit that comes in a sealed top loader like this from Topps, you think that magically every single card that's autographed by Carter Keyboom, because it has a top seal on it, is going to be PSA graded. Like literally, I hear that at card shows all the time. It came sealed from Topps. It has to be gem mint. Like, it's frustrating. Like, I like this hobby, and it's so easy to see how people are taken advantage of, because the average collector, I don't know, it's like they lack the hobby knowledge, they lack the hobby awareness, they lack the general business awareness, they lack the ability to do their own due diligence. Like, I don't know, it's almost like baseball cards are a sort of a game of life. Like if there was a game for life that could sort of articulate some of the, I don't know, how am I trying to explain this? Like there's a lot of comparisons and a lot of parallels. If you think that something is a scam, it's probably a scam. You should probably do your due diligence for it. If you think that something is too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. Like that occurs all the time in baseball cards. It happens all the time in life. Like a lot of things that a lot of encounters that you have in the baseball card market are also things that you encounter in life. So I don't know, a lot of people just really struggle with being able to do their own due diligence and really ascertain like who is truly at fault for a lot of these problems. So sorry if I'm somewhat a little bit long-winded and kind of a little bit short. I've had a really crappy day. Also, I'm working on about 3 to 4 hours of sleep because I had a flight that was delayed and I had to fly out of a different city, and I didn't get home until like 2:45 last night, and I had to be at work at 6:30. So, and I've got a lot of stuff to do, like a lot, including making this video, sending this out to my consigner, getting some money, and keeping the wheels going on this entire machine, because the more that I delay, this is really goes to my why of why I do this. Like, I really like to do this, but at the end of the day, like, I like cards. And please, for those of you out there who are railing against, well, you should only collect because collecting is the truest form of participating in the hobby, and you can't profit off this because if you profit, then you're not a collector. That is horseshit. Like, that is complete BS. I know a lot of people that have hobbies and they profit off of those hobbies, and actually the art of profiting off of those hobbies is in itself a hobby. So you have a hobby of a hobby. Like, get off your high horse. Sit back and do whatever it is that you do and enjoy what you do while I enjoy what I do. And what I enjoy doing is grading cards. It's really, really fun. And I sound very uptight about it right now, and I promise my hobby is a lot funner than me complaining about my hobby, which I'm doing right now. But I just say that just to hopefully shun the critics out there of profiting off of baseball cards, that maybe you just need to lay back a little bit and enjoy what you do and let me enjoy what I do, and stop criticizing people like me for doing what I do, because I like doing what I do. So get off my back. All right. It's a long tirade. I'm not going to go into any more of those. At some point on another video, not this one, I would like to do my why. Why is it that I grade these cards? Why is it that I am hoping to profit off of these cards as rapidly as I can, as quickly as I can? What is my end goal? I don't see myself ever being out of cards. I'm going to do another video on this, but I'll give you at least a brief rundown because we're almost done with all of our stacks. I want to do this because I really enjoy cards. I do. I can never see myself not participating in the hobby in some form. And grading to me has been the funnest thing. I've gone from niche to niche to niche. I've gone from vintage. I've gone to Hall of Famers. I've gone to prospects. I've done baseball, basketball, now starting to do football. Like this card. This card is undergraded. This card is completely undergraded. Like, these are almost all gem mint, so I have no idea why that's a 9. So can't tell me that grading doesn't serve its purpose. Same with this. This deserves to be a 9, or to be a 10, but it's a 9. Again, I don't get it. And this one deserves to be a 10, but it's a 9. All right, so I can't see myself not ever being in the hobby. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy what I do. This kind of feels like Christmas. It gives me that feeling that I had whenever I was a little kid, whenever I'm opening Christmas toys, but these are not toys, these are cards, and this is really cool. So it gives you that dopamine rush. At the end of the day, we're all addicted to our hobbies because they give us a very happy feeling, and it gives us a dopamine rush. It gives us a feeling of joy and happiness and excitement. Like, that's dopamine. That is dopamine telling you that you are happy. So this gives me happiness. But there's also an end goal here. So I do want to be somewhat financially free, believe it or not. And I can do that through my career. And believe it or not, you can do that through having a side hustle, which is, it happens to be for me, baseball cards, as crazy as that sounds. How one would not want to capitalize on roughly 25 years worth of hobby knowledge and potentially profit off of that is beyond me. Like, you have one life. Why not enjoy it? Enjoy your hobbies, potentially profit off of your hobbies, especially if you're really good at it. So I do have a interest in being financially free relatively at an early age. So I'm in my 30s now, early 30s. I don't want to be working till I'm in my 40s. I don't want to be working whenever I'm in my 50s. So literally every penny that I make, and I have a pharmacist salary, so I am a pharmacist. Every penny that I make goes into cards. Every penny that goes into cards goes into graded cards, as you see here. Every penny that I make from profit off of these cards goes back into more cards. And the end goal is not to just keep doing that until I retire and get rich, but I do want to get into real estate. I absolutely love real estate. I have a property now that I live in, but I want to get into real estate very, very substantially. So one of the methods that many people will use whenever they get into real estate, and I have to cut myself off because I have two of these Mystery Redemption Acuna Juniors, and these are very, very rare. Hard to gem, actually. So there's a lot of 9s online, but I found these that looked like they were pretty clean and they graded. So back to real estate. A lot of people will use a hobby or a side hustle or some sort of side gig to start making as much money as they can to start leveraging their properties. And I don't want to make this about real estate because you guys hear about baseball cards, but that's basically what I'm doing here with baseball cards. And my salary is saving as much as possible, paying off as much as possible, and trying to get into real estate because I don't know about you guys. Hopefully you guys, because people who grade cards are very entrepreneurial minded, baseball cards has been one of the greatest gifts to me for learning about business and learning about how to interact with people, learning how to negotiate, learning how to make offers, learning risk management, how to manage risk, not be shy away from risk. So all that has been wonderful lessons for me, and I'm hoping that those are going to pay dividends in future endeavors, such as real estate or any other business later on in the future. So, very, very long video. Hopefully you guys have seen a lot of cool cards here. This order is honestly very, very impressive. And you're going to see a really cool card here. I've waited for this stack specifically to show up after I've done my diatribe, because I know you guys don't just want to see me read off the title of this. So hopefully you guys found this interesting. If you guys found this video interesting, please give it a like. Please give it a subscribe. Let me know if you would like for me to talk more about the hobby and my thoughts on the hobby, my thoughts on, really anything, because me sitting here reading Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s name over and over and over and over and over is really, really stupid probably. And you guys can see the cards. You guys can see how pretty they are, but I may be more interesting. I may be not so interesting. So next card is going to be a beauty. So this one's a beauty in itself. I'm going to try to angle this so that you can't see what's next to you. Hopefully you don't see it, but this one's really cool. This one's number 25. If Vlad Daddy will lay off the donuts, this card is going to be a beast. But he's eating way too many donuts and grandma's cooking. And because of that, I'm not so happy about this card anymore. So as soon as he lays off the donuts, this is going to be great. But the big card that I wanted you guys to see is this one. So TOPPS Heritage, RONALD ACUNA Jr. Clubhouse Collection Patch 1 of 1. And it actually graded a PSA 10, which is really, really, really freaking cool. I paid around $400 for this card. I honestly wasn't even sure if it was real. It's like 1 of 1 patch from Heritage. Not sure if that's real. So I did a little bit of digging, and sure enough, the patch versions from Heritage for this were the 1 of 1 versions, and the 1 of 1 writing matched all of the other 1 of 1s that I saw online. So it's the real deal, man. I never would have thought that I would have got a Ronald Acuna Jr. Heritage 1 of 1, like a true freaking 1 of 1, and it's great at PSA 10. So I think I stole this card. Not many people like jerseys, but there's a ton of Heritage collectors. There's a ton of Acuna Jr. collectors. And then throwing a PSA 10 on top of that, man, this card's probably not going to be as good as some of his other rookie logos, admittedly, because there's no rookie logo, and people are addicted to that like crack for some stupid reason. But like everything is lining up for this card to be great. Like it's Heritage, it's Acuna Jr. Like I would take that over a lot of the other 1 of 1s that he has from 2018, but that's just me, and that's why I bought the card. So not trying to pump it. It is what it is. Even if I sold it for a loss, it doesn't hurt me all that much. Because got a lot of good stuff here, and it's all going to do pretty well. So hope you guys liked the video. If you all liked this, please comment down below. Please give me a like. Please give me a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you want me to go on some more rants. Let me know if you want my thoughts on the hobby, anything specifically, whether it be grading, whether it be prospecting, whether it be investing, whether it be managing money, how sports cards has really helped shape me. I can go into a lot of trades and a lot of rants. I have a lot of thoughts about this, and I really enjoy sports cards. Love sharing it with people. So if you have any comments, likes, please let me know, and always subscribe. Thanks.